I know I'm done with you for tonight, girl, my night girl. I know I'm done with you for tonight, girl, my night girl. It's not because I know you're just as lost as me.
Alright, so we're on Heard Euphoria and we're here with Ruben Farias. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for letting us interview you.
Thanks for having me, man.
Especially after a set and everything.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you.
So, how long would you say you've been playing?
Well, I've been playing live shows since December the 30th of 2006, so it's literally 11 and a half years plus 1 day, so yeah.
Plus 1 day?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. I've been played, I guess a little bit over 300 to 400 shows in that time. So yeah.
And how was that, starting from your first show to like now? Do you feel more comfortable with everything?
Way more comfortable. The first few shows, man, like it was just, I was a little bit nervous. I mean, a lot of bit nervous. I was nervous for a good couple years actually, but that was just mostly because I couldn't find my groove, my rhythm. Now it's just like any other thing. That's the only place in my life where I feel somewhat comfort is when I'm just playing. I know that's the only part in my life where I'm not gonna fuck up is when I'm on stage.
Nice. And what would you say, like your acoustic punk rock, what would you say your biggest influences have come from?
A little bit of MXPX, Social Distortion, the old 97s, Jonah Matranga are my bigger influences from early on and stuff like that. And a lot of, especially like a lot of local bands, like most recently, like this new album that's coming out, it's influenced heavily by a lot of like local bands, Fantastico, the Palatines, even the Shady Boys and Shades, who I think you guys had here the last interview. Yeah, those are the main influences in the sounds that I'm coming up with, the melodies that I'm coming up with now, and it's pretty fun.
It's pretty awesome, man. You're a local supporter and everything. Since you started to now, like, what can you say that has changed that do you think has had an impact on the music you make?
I guess that's a dope question because I was thinking about this the other day, and the first set of songs that I wrote, I was writing them trying to please the crowd. That was my thing. It's like I want to please these people, that I want them to hear music that they like. But then after a while, I was just like, you know what, man? Screw all this, man. I'm gonna make music that I like, stuff that I really vibe with, and it's just like people can smell it a mile away. If you're not being true to yourself, people kind of like sense it, or at least from my personal experience. Now that I'm playing songs that I really like, I like the way they sound, and I really enjoy playing them and stuff. It seems like people vibe with that.
Nice, man. And what would you say your favorite songs to play? Especially for the crowd that you get.
Man, I like favorite songs. Jeez, since I also play full band, this project, my solo project, has a full band called Parting. When I play with Parting, my favorite song to play with them is Time to Die, for sure. The name is Time to Die, not Time to Die for sure. But Time to Die is my favorite song to play with the full band. With solo, I would say This Is How Partying Saved My Life is one of my favorites, which is the first song that I normally open up with. Or also Everybody Hates When You're Gone. That one could be really fun if everybody's rowdy. So yeah.
Do you feel like there's a sense of like truth in these songs that you try to bring out to the audience?
Yeah, that's all I write, is just they're just true stories about either myself or my friends. I would feel fake if I tried writing something that doesn't pertain to me.
Camera guy's weird. So, with everything that you have going on, like you said, you're gonna bring out a new album. Mm-hmm. When can we expect that?
Right now, the tentative date is November the 10th. That's kind of like I guess my deadline, because I'm real lazy when it comes to things. Usually I wait for my label to like be like, hey, are you ready? And I'm like, yes, I'm ready. Instead of me just telling them, if I were to go up to them right now and tell them I'm ready to record, they'd be like, all right, we'll get you in there on Tuesday or whatever. Yeah. But November the 10th is a safe deadline. So it's going to be anytime between, I guess, now and then. Obviously, it's not going to come out next week because I haven't even recorded these songs. Another thing that I would like to add, to this is that I might record them in 3 different genres, meaning it's going to be 3 different albums coming out with the same 6 songs, but one of them is going to be full band, the other one's going to be acoustic, and I think the other one's probably going to be like indie pop or something. I don't know. Indie pop. I really like that indie pop sound, and it would. One of the things that's kept me like from recording these songs, it's taking me real long, is because like I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to do this full band or if I want to do this solo, if I want to do this like with beats or something. And I just said, you know what? How about we just do them like in all styles? Like why do we have to like put rules on this shit? You know what I mean? Nice. So, yeah.
And what would you say, for those that are out there listening, probably never seen you or anything, what's the biggest thing you can give to them as a musician?
Just if you come out to one of the shows, we'll get rowdy and have fun. That's pretty much it. Like, I want everybody to have fun. And it doesn't even have to like revolve around my music or anything. It's just like whenever you come out, it'd be dope if we all just like partied and had fun with each other and treat each other nicely and just go home safe and we'll do it again next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Coming down to like being rowdy and everything, what would you think that your best set would be and your worst set?
My best and worst set, like that's happened before?
Yeah, that's occurred with you.
Best set, I guess solo that I've done acoustic is when I released my last album, This Is How Partying Saved My Life. That set was crazy. It was gnarly. We had this place filled up and people were singing along and it was I couldn't even believe it. It took me I'm probably still processing that to this day. It's the biggest compliment in the world when people sing along to your songs. Worst set, I've had so many bad sets, so we'll lump them all together, and usually it's when there's absolutely nobody at the bar except for the people that work there, or there's times where I just forget the lyrics and I just forget everything. I think those days are behind me now. Everything's muscle memory now at this point, but I've had tons of bad shows where it was just amateur hour at best. But I mean, we got to start somewhere, you know what I mean? So I'm glad I got that out of the way.
And do you have any tips and tricks you think would have helped you from the start that help you now?
Oh, snap. It's a good question. Yeah, I do. Man, that's I think it's kind of like a re-emphasis from like what I said earlier about writing songs that feel good for you, or that they sound good, that you like them, because if you like them, chances are somebody else is too. As far as playing live, just tips and tricks for sure. Always play under the time that the set that I was given. Like, for example, if they tell me like, hey, you're gonna play 30 minutes, all right, cool, plan for like a 25 to 28 minute set. Don't want to go over. Always being on time, just real basic things, because at the end of the day, the promoter's got a show to run and you don't want to bleed into other people's time. So those are things that I kind of understood at the beginning, but there are things that I understand very clearly now, for sure.
Now, I know you've definitely gone out from the Valley area, the RGV, mm-hmm. And what was one of your favorite places to go out to?
I would say Laredo.
Laredo.
I played a show in Laredo at this place called The Dugout last summer, and that was deceptively badass because I didn't think it was a cantina. I was like, oh cool, we're at a cantina, like a legit cantina. It was like senores there and stuff, like listening to, you know, old school corridos, and I was like, oh, dope. But in the nighttime, what they do is, you know, the scene comes in at the nighttime, and they clear out the place with the pool tables. They move them around, and they make a really cool setup there. And the kids showed up, man. Everybody out there, it was a really cool turnout, and everybody was super supportive, and it just reminded me of the RGV scene of like the early 2000s. So I could relate a lot to those people over there. And when I say that is, you know, the scene's there, the support's there. They just don't have like venues that support live music outside of the cantinas. You know what I mean? But that's cool that the cantinas are giving them a chance. That's super dope. So shout out to Laredo for sure, and for George Ponce for putting me on that set, on that show. That was cool. And In Shades.
And speaking of the scene, like you mentioned RGB scene, how do you feel it is here for you and for everybody here?
I think in a sense, you know, I'd rather just speak for everybody. I think it's freaking, you know, better than ever. I've seen, you know, I've been around to where I've seen it kind of like the low times. People were still making it happen despite those times. But it's really cool to see what it's become and how everybody just kind of supports each other. And I love more than anything when touring bands come to the RGV and then they leave thinking like, dude, what the hell? That was an amazing, you know, little spot that we thought was going to be garbage, but ended up being like, you know, golden. So that's cool, man. We're setting an example out there, and people are going out there and talking about us. It's a good thing, so that's awesome.
Making it real, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, what's one of your favorite spots to hit, you know, as a venue?
As a venue, I like Yerberia. The Yerberia Cultura is cool. Mad shout out to Simon Says. It's on the north side of town. Fucking love that place too. Flying Walrus every once in a while. They haven't had an original show in a while, but they're pretty cool, man. Flying Walrus is dope. Thirsty Monkey used to have some stuff, but I don't think so anymore. Oh man, I feel like I'm forgetting one. You got places in Harlingen, Hop Shop. You know, that's always been a staple over there. The Spot is coming up, so yeah.
What is the artist that you like most here that you enjoyed listening to?
The artist here?
Yeah, the before you.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah, tonight. Yeah, like right now, a little while ago.
I liked Linda Crystal's set a lot. She has some really cool melodies and catchy songs. Ray Bettis, that guy's a legend. That guy's been doing it longer than I have. I remember when I first started playing, he was killing the game, and I was just like, wow, this guy's a freaking savage. Yeah, everybody's pretty much killed it so far. Melodrama, Lecture was up there doing his thing. And also, surprisingly, Bobby Garza came out and started playing with his banjo. I was like, oh, cool, this guy's going to be all right with his banjo. Shows up and starts wrecking shop. I was like, wow, I might, you know, ask him if he's down to do a feature in my next album or something.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Ruben. Well, we appreciate you coming out here, letting us interview you and everything.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much.
All right, and before we go, do you want to, like, give a shout out to anybody out there?
Yeah, man. First and foremost, Boom Bap Masterpiece Rex. For releasing my last album, This Is How Partying Saved My Life. They've got a lot of savages on their roster. TAO is coming up, Three-Headed Dragon, Evolve, Palm Leaf Skylines, Mike Melt. That's a crew of savages. Caldo Frio 2 is coming out. They just released something through Boom Bap, so hell yeah. I just want to throw a shout out to them for showing me love, and I guess, you know, shout out to everybody else. Palatines, Fantastico, my dear friends, everybody who's ever played in my full band in Partying, which is Johnny and Eric of Mumbles, Abram of Skagaletos, Bill and Jeff of Noble Insect, Isaac and Blake and Shan of In Shades. You know, thank you guys for always backing me up. Michael Ternini in San Antonio, what up? And that's it.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Hell yeah. Peace.